If we want to have gardens and landscapes that have healthier soil, it's important to start considering cover crops that overwinter, or perennial cover crops. And one such perennial cover crop that I want to start experimenting with now is red clover. So the red clover, of course, is a short-lived perennial. It usually lives 2 to 3 years or so. Now it can reseed itself as well and continue to persist in the environment. But what I really like about this cover crop is that it is a legume, so it helps to facilitate the fixation of nitrogen into the soil, and it also has a very good taproot structure, right? And this root structure can work deep down into the soil and decompact the soil, creating more air spaces and air pockets and channels for water to trickle down. Now, the other aspect of this is that clover can also be harvested for its above ground biomass, right? Its leaves and flower structures, and these can be used as soil amendment and in a fertility program to help provide the nutrients that some other crops may need. Now, one important note is that you might not want to use the biomass of this red clover as a living mulch for any plants in the legume family, as the breaking down of that plant matter of the red clover, right, it may breed organisms that may be detrimental to other legumes that they might be sensitive to. So you might want to consider fertilizing other plants with it, you know, like solanaceous crops like tomatoes, eggplant, things of that nature. But the other cool thing is that the clover leaves, that biomass, can be used as, you know, like a grass clipping mulch type thing, except that it's clover, right? And so it has a relatively high nitrogen profile because the leaves, of course, can have some protein in it, and then the plant can also accumulate other nutrients as well that can be beneficial to plant growth. So this is a perennial legume that can be hardy up into winter climates. Now, this red clover can also be used as a habitat, right, as a draw for beneficial insects, right? And some people find it to be even more effective than its close cousin white clover, right? So this red clover may actually draw in a wider diversity of beneficial insects to support their livelihood and provide habitat for them to survive in that area. Red clover, of course, it's a legume, and it's also a perennial, so it can help to facilitate the growth and the habitat for the beneficial mycorrhizal fungi that inhabit the soil, right? And since this plant is a short-lived perennial, right, the mycorrhizal fungi can persist in the soil over the winter months because it's helping to live off of those living root systems that the red clover and other plants that overwinter can help to provide that food source, right, of the root exudates and such. And the mycorrhizal fungi help a lot of plants during the growing season to take in higher amounts of other nutrients. Iron and zinc are examples of this, right? So we can actually benefit from this mycorrhizal fungi by having more iron and zinc in the foods that we consume. And so basically this spring of 2024, I am planting out the red clover, right? And I have been planting this red clover seed from about early March to early April in this zone 6B to 7 climate. And so basically all I'm doing is just clearing away a little bit of space to plant the seed. I'm scattering the seed on top to just cover most of it with a little bit of soil. Now, if you want to find any more information on the red clover and incorporating it into growing systems, I definitely recommend The Ecological Farm by Helen et al. The management plan and practices that she goes over in that book, and how she incorporates red clover, but also other plants as well, into fertility management systems. It's on her part really well researched, well put together, and I highly recommend people check out that book, because there's so much detailed information in it, and otherwise it would have taken me years to find out what was in that book through personal experience. So I highly recommend that book once again. Of course, the link to that book is down in the description, so definitely feel free to check it out. Hopefully, maybe you will feel inspired to try and grow some red clover on part of your garden or the landscape that you live within. Just get to know that plant, see how it grows, see how it impacts the soil, what types of insects does it bring into the landscape, you know, what kinds of uses can you use it for in the garden, or you know, whatever. So thank you so much for checking out this video. I appreciate it as always, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Take care.